Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we are going to go over Assassin's Creed Mirage's performance on PC, specifically on an RTX 3060, which is what I have. So before I go any further, the usual YouTube thing, like, subscribe, all that. But also I wanted to go over some of the things that I did change from the presets. Now the presets are low, medium, high, very high, and ultra high. Now the thing that I changed was that there is an adaptive performance target where you can target 30 FPS or 60 FPS or even 45 FPS. That is something that comes with the presets, like the low preset has it targeted towards 30 FPS, and that is the only thing I have disabled. Other than that, the presets are exactly what the presets. That being said, there is also one more thing that is important, and that this benchmark is taking place with 1440p resolution. So all the performance numbers are for 1440p. I want to make that very clear. This is not tested on 1080p. What you can expect is obviously in 1080p resolution, you will get slightly better performance. So yeah, this is tested on 1440p. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. Let's get on with the benchmarks. Alright, now that the benchmarks are done, I can pretty much say that if you're on a 3060, you don't need to run it on low, you don't need to run it on medium, you don't even need to technically run it on high. You can comfortably run it on very high without DLSS, but I would still recommend that you run it on very high with DLSS on, and also the texture quality boosted to max, which is what I am doing, as you can see in the preset over here. Now, the reason why I say that is because, of course, texture quality should always be as high as possible. Like 3060 has a 12 GB VRAM buffer, and it can easily handle this. Now, there are 3060s which don't have 12 GB VRAM buffer, and thanks to NVIDIA for that, but we need to talk about it. Now, what I need to talk about here is that the VRAM usage is very much just above 6 GB for 1440p, and that too on like very high settings. So I think you can get away with like high settings but with ultra textures on a 3060, like the 3060 mobile or the 3060 8 gigs. It should just be fine. In fact, 3060 8 gigs would be able to handle this game even on ultra, because even on ultra, the game is taking up like 6 gigabytes of VRAM capacity, which is below the 8 GB VRAM that the 3060 8 GB version has. And as far as the laptop is concerned, I would say just play this on high, and of course use DLSS, because DLSS honestly is such a great tool. DLSS makes this game look better than the native TAA. So I would say don't even think about it. Just use DLSS. If you want to use it native, that's on you. I personally put it on like quality, because that just gives me that slight bit of buffer in terms of how much more frame rate I can get, because I stream. And also, sometimes the game will throw some effects at you and the performance will dip a little bit. And so for those reasons, it's always good to have a buffer. So my buffer is essentially running this game on very high, and with DLSS and quality. And so far I have not had any problems with the game. What I did do is I limited the FPS to 60 because anything above that, like this game fluctuates a lot. So if my max FPS is something like 72, it can drop all the way down to something like 63, 62. And honestly, that's not that good of an experience. It does feel bad at times. So what I will suggest to everyone is just cap it to 60. Like for these games, you don't really need to play this on 120 FPS. Yes, it would be really good. I'm not gonna lie, if I could play these games on like 120 or 170 FPS, I would love it. But as it stands, a 3060 can't do that, and so 60 FPS is a good enough target to aim for. Now here's a comparison between the low settings and how the game looks on very high with DLSS, which also basically gives the same performance as the low settings. So here you go. So now all that said, I want to know what you guys think. Is the performance good enough? Now, there is another video that I will eventually work on, which is the benchmarking, but for a 1660 Ti, which I have on my laptop. So stay tuned for that video. And all that said, I will leave you guys in peace.